The Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree DLC has some serious issues, and today we're going to talk about it. Let's get to it. So I want to start this off on a positive note because I think From Software is an absolutely amazing dev company, and we need more like them out there. I also think the DLC is fantastic overall, and it has a ton of value for what you pay for it. It is a massive DLC, and for $40, you cannot beat that price. There are $60, $70, $80 games out there with a fraction of the content in this DLC. On top of that, just like the base game, I think the DLC is absolutely stunning visually. Elden Ring has this kind of creepy, beautiful vibe that I've not seen in other games, and I absolutely love it. And overall, I had a ton of fun playing through the DLC. I highly recommend it if you already own the base game. It is a good DLC. But just like with anything, nothing is perfect. I can't stand this whole gamer mentality and just mentality on the internet in general that if you love something, you can't be critical of it. You either have to love it or hate it, and that's just not how the world works. Your significant other may be absolutely fantastic and you love everything about them, but they still snore like a wildebeest and keep you up at night. Well, obviously you don't love that too. It may be cute the first couple of times you sleep next to them, but eventually you're gonna want your sleep, and video games are no exception. There are plenty of games out there that are phenomenal games, but they are not perfect, and Elden Ring is no exception to that rule. The boss battles, a few of the boss battles in this game are absolute trash. Not only that, a lot of them feel very same-ish. I played through many hours and all of the base game, and to me, all of the bosses in the base game felt relatively unique in their own way. However, the bosses in the DLC do not. Many of them have this mechanic that I can only describe as a plastic bag floating in the wind. They're so fluttery, flowy all over the place, and it's the same situation with a lot of the bosses. And to be honest, it gets really old really quickly. On top of that, the mechanics in general for a lot of these fights are just not great, and they don't feel good. The bosses attack non-stop, your window to hit them is very tiny, and it becomes this slog fest that is just not enjoyable for a majority of the people out there, I'm sure. Obviously, you're gonna have those people out there that can handle this style of gameplay. They're young, their reaction times are on point, and they don't have a problem spending hours mastering a boss to get the timings down perfect for whatever reason they want to do it. And while yes, I do agree that not every game needs to be inclusive. I think that games can have inclusivity mechanics in them that are simple to add, stuff like colorblind mode, but I don't think devs should sacrifice their overall vision in order to make a game inclusive for everybody to play. Not everything in the world needs to be made for everybody. I agree with that. But with that being said, Elden Ring is made for a large audience. You can't argue that. I mean, you can try to argue that, but you're just gonna sound ignorant because it's obvious with the mechanics added into the game, like the ability to summon spirits or have your friend come help you, or the _tree fragments in the DLC, which is basically a reverse difficulty scaler, along with the fact that there are tons of absolutely just broken builds out there that have never gotten patched. It's obvious that the game is made for a large audience, which is why it has sold so many copies. With that being said, some of these bosses, let's talk about Mesmer for example, that fight is absolute trash. Not only does he not stop attacking you long enough to get any amount of real damage in, there are times where you just can't even hit him. If you summon in a spirit and he impales them or he impales you, you cannot damage him while he's doing that impale attack on your spirit. Your spirit cannot damage him while he is doing the impale attack on you. That whole time he should be vulnerable, he is absolutely invulnerable and cannot take any damage. That's terrible mechanic. There's not many times you can actually hit him in the first place, and he shouldn't be invulnerable during that entire time. He is completely vulnerable. It's not even like a situation of where he just has hyper armor. He's just untouchable during that time. And the times that you do manage to actually be able to hit him, you're getting in maybe one hit, and then it's back to just block or roll or whatever while you wait for him to go through his whole spiel until you get the slightest, tiniest little chance where you may get to hit him if the stars align, and it's not fun. And don't even get me started on the centipede, scorpion, flower, whatever it is lady, where when you target her with target lock, you target the center of her, and if you're trying to attack her with something like a spear, there are many times where you just can't even hit her. You're attacking attacking thin air because you can't hit her because her hitbox is trashed. So the trick to it is you have to untarget lock, look forward and attack the centipede or scorpion part of her, and then hope that you can target lock again when she starts doing some crazy stuff so that you can actually track where she is on the screen and manage to dodge her. Terrible mechanics overall. And that leads me into the final boss. The final boss starts out fine. I think the first interaction in his first phase with the final boss, nothing wrong with it. No notes at all. No complaints at all. It's a good, solid, enjoyable fight. But then you knock him down to about half health and he goes into phase 2 and he goes into what I guess you could call annihilation mode. And there is so much crap going on the screen that I don't even know when you're supposed to dodge. When are you supposed to dodge? When are you supposed to attack? I don't know because there's so much visual clutter on the screen that I have no idea what's even going on or where he even is on the screen at any given point in time when he just goes ballistics. Like seriously, when this is happening here, what are you supposed to do? Please tell me, what are you supposed to do? When are you supposed to dodge? When are you supposed to get in your attacks? What are you supposed to do here? Because I have no idea what's going on. Even the final boss of the base game isn't this absurd. And here's the thing, I understand I can just make a broken build. Like I can go back and respec. I've seen builds out there where you can one-shot him. I've seen builds that basically two-shot him and end this fight fast. That's fine. I get it. I understand that. But that in itself is a problem. A player shouldn't have to go completely respec into a broken build in order to one-shot a boss to beat the boss. The boss should be beatable with a variety of different builds. And I'm not saying every single build has to be viable to beat the boss, but there should be more viable builds to beat the boss than your 2 or 3 broken options of just going up and one-shotting him or two-shotting him. If that's the situation with your game, then there's a problem with the game, and it's not just a skill issue. And honestly, I think a lot of the situations with the bosses is a bit of a skill issue, but that still doesn't change the fact that they feel very much the same, and it also doesn't change the fact that there's hitbox issues or visual clutter. And it also doesn't change the fact that some of these hit windows are so minuscule that it becomes a slog fest and a grind to beat a boss, and that's not enjoyable for me, and I think it's not enjoyable for a lot of other people. Now, do I think that it deserves to be review bombed? No, I do not. I think it deserves legitimate criticisms, but I think people review bombing a game because they're angry with it is not a way to get devs to listen, and I don't think it's something that we should promote or encourage in any way. I think there are more than enough outlets on the internet to leave legitimate feedback for the devs so that they can step back and take a look at their game and take a look at the people playing it and say, well, maybe we should tune this just a little bit. Review bombing games because you're mad is not the answer. Trust me, I was very, very mad with the Mesmer fight. It took me a very long time, an absurdly long time, to finally beat this douchebag. And I was ragey and I was angry about it. I was slapping my desk. I was cussing up a storm. I had to step away multiple times. But did I go review bomb it? No, because that's not what you should do. I'm making this video in hopes that maybe the word gets out a little more. Maybe people agree. Maybe the devs see it. Maybe they don't. But this is my outlet to leave my criticisms, and this is where I'm going to do it. I think that fight is severely overtuned, and it's not fun. It is very aggravating. And to be honest with you, I've given up for now on the final boss because it just frustrates me with all the visual clutter, but I will probably just respec and go back and two-shot him with one of the broken builds so that I can just beat him and be done with it at some point. But anyway, that's about it. I just wanted to make this video because I don't think that it's fair that the game is getting review bombed. I do think overall that the DLC is fantastic, and we need more developers out there like From Software that just want to make good games, don't want to pile a bunch of predatory practices in them like microtransactions and other stupid nonsense, allow you to play your game offline, and just want to make an enjoyable experience and want to give you a DLC that has actual value to it. That is a company I will get behind. That is a company I will support. That is a company that does not deserve all of the nonsense that they are getting and all the review bombs they are getting on Steam. All right, that's going to wrap it up there. Hopefully you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider hitting the subscribe button and notification bell so you can be notified when I upload other videos. And if you're looking for some more of my content, you can find a link to another one of my videos on screen right now. I want to give an absolute massive shout out and thank you to all of my channel supporters for helping to keep these videos sponsor free. You all are absolutely amazing people. If you would like to become an official channel supporter, check out the links in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. If you're shy, you don't like to comment, just hit that thumbs up button and share your support. Until next time, thanks for watching.